what does it take to implement a private LTE network? So Motorola Solutions, as many of you know, have been sort of the industry leader in RF communications, so land mobile radio for state and local government and federal government. So taking the next step is to really move into broadband. And what does that mean? That means taking a commercial grade solution that we all know and love and creating it for a state and local environment in a private setting. So up here we have some of the things we need to consider when we're looking at a private network. Several of the items here, we'll dive into a few of them, but the real key here is to look at how you're going to implement a solution that meets requirements. So here, obviously in Texas, we have a situation with wildfires. Well, we can implement a private network that supports video surveillance to really keep a safe distance, but an eye on what's happening in these wildfires from a video surveillance perspective. So I have some items up here that you need to think about when implementing a network, but really what you need to do ahead of that is look at your requirements. So when we talk about private LTE, we're really looking at what are the business challenges that we have today that we technically can't solve without a private system. So the concept here is to really integrate a private system and a carrier system to allow interaction, not only give you local coverage and roaming, but basically nationwide enablement. So that means from a single device, you'll have nationwide coverage, whether you're on a private public safety system from Motorola or other, into the nationwide Verizon wireless network, both for LTE, 4G to 4G, and then also for legacy technologies, 3G and 2G as well, and CDMA, to roam into those networks with the same device that you have on your private system. And then finally, the fact that we're going down a standards path, it's allowing us to get to an interoperability state where we're allowing voice communications from a P25 LMR network to interoperate with voice communications on a traditional LTE network.
It's not just about a carrier network or a network in itself. What we're really striving to do is to create an ecosystem that public safety can leverage, that the communities can leverage, that really starts to build all of this 4G capability. Some of the use cases that Rishi described with firefighters and being able to establish biometrics and have those live feeds, those types of things are critically important. And Verizon Wireless in that ecosystem has established several areas within our business that allows and accommodates that. Certainly priority services, like we have wireless priority service today on the voice side, we will have wireless priority services on the data side in LTE. Critically important for public safety. Note that is not preemption or network control, but it is an enhancement that will make sure public safety can get data through at the top of that pipe and get all of that information passed along in a prioritized manner. And then lastly, the ability to really have that bi-directional roaming, the ability to effortlessly traverse from your private network into the carrier network and back so that it becomes a very seamless function.
Last year, 2010, in the third quarter, we began this project when some grant funds became available. We had originally applied for some BTOP grant funds to build out a wider broadband network, but we were fortunate enough to get some Homeland Security funds through the port grant system to build out an LTE broadband system in support of public safety. Our coverage area not include the area where an incident may happen. Our devices will still be able to roam onto the Verizon network and provide that continuity of service for those first responders. A couple of the other things that we're working on right now, as they said, the portfolio of public safety grade devices. Next week, Motorola's engineers from Israel are bringing in some of the first hand-built vehicle modem devices for us to start testing the Verizon band class 13 throughput. So that's something that we'll be doing early next week. In addition, as they mentioned, the P25 system through an ISSI service or similar service, they'll be able to provide that non-mission critical voice from those handheld devices onto our mission critical LMR system.